Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. We're nearing 200 interviews, believe it or not, for Tucker Carlson Today over on Fox Nation. These are extended and very wide-ranging interviews with people who'd never have time to sit down on a regular nightly show here on Fox. That includes some of the most prominent entertainers, authors, thinkers, and generally interesting, entertaining people of our time. You may have seen a couple of minutes of these interviews because we broadcast them at night sometimes. But on this show this evening, we're focusing on just two people. The first is football legend Brett Favre, and the second is Hollywood actor Jon Voight. And we're bringing you two extended portions right now so you can get a sense of what our Fox Nation show is all about. Here is part one of our conversation with Brett Favre. Who was your dad? What was he like?
Well, as I explained to you last night, if you're familiar with Gomer Pyle, and our generation or older certainly is familiar with Gomer Pyle, Sergeant Carter, who yelled, had a flat top, was constantly, everything he said was yelling, even when he was polite and speaking softly. That was my dad. He was my baseball coach. He coached American Legion baseball for 35, 40 years. And he coached high school football for about 35 years. And so me and my two brothers, we grew up being coached by him, even when he was not officially our coach. There was a lot of hard work, a lot of spankings, yellings, but that was the way we grew up. You know, my dad, like I said, he was coaching high school football since I was a little kid.
So when you screwed up, he didn't make excuses for you?
He never felt sorry for me. No. I was probably treated the worst on the whole team, and I, you know, strangely, I got that. I didn't particularly like it, but I got it. You know, the things that he said to me, and I think sometimes, don't get me wrong, and I think I told you the story last night. Had he and I been riding back from a practice home one evening, and my dad's driving right here, and we had a little small pickup truck, and had he looked over to me and said, "Son, how you doing in school? Everything, you and Deanna okay?" I would have thought that he had lost his mind. That was just not his nature. When I did, and another example, so while I'm in Green Bay, especially 3 or 4 years in, when I really was playing exceptionally well, he would come to games, and after the game, he'd ride to the game with me in my truck, and he would ride back home after the game with me in my truck, and he would critique the way I played. Now, my dad was not really a technician from a coach's perspective. It was more just work hard, be tough, be a great teammate. That was kind of his three things. It wasn't like, all right, we're going to scheme them to death. He was not a schemer. He was just, we ran the football, and I'm going way back to where the younger generation doesn't even know what the wishbone is. You know, wishbone was prolific back when Barry Switzer and Osborne were doing it back in those days.
For those who don't know, what is the wishbone?
It's a quarterback's under center. You have a fullback, you have a halfback and a halfback, and you run misdirection options. I would say if you had 70 plays in a game, 68 of them are runs. Some type of veer option. You know, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But that's what we ran. So I say that because when my dad would critique me, for example, maybe I was 28 for 32 in a game, which is great. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, maybe an interception, maybe no interceptions. Dad would get in the truck, and rather than say, "Well, I'm proud of you, you did really a good job," he would say, "You know, you could have completed those other 4 passes." And I would say, "Dad, don't even think about trying to critique me for a man who wouldn't throw a pass or allow his son to throw a pass. You're going to tell me how I should throw or what I should have done better? And he'd get all bent out of shape. But, I thought I had a fair argument.
So you had to be able to take criticism.
Yeah. Certainly from him is where it started. So, I've had some great coaches after him. And the really good coaches will get on your ass a little bit.
Yeah.
No matter who you are. And that's okay. Did I particularly like it? No, but I understood that was part of the process and needed to be done. And I've even had coaches say, look, I'm going to chew your ass a little bit, but I want the other guys to know that you're no different than anybody else on the team. And I'm all in on that. That's fine. But that started with my dad.
You told me a story last night about being a kid riding your bike with your brother. Would you mind repeating that story? So
my wife loves this story. So me and my older brother Scott, were 2 years apart. I'm guessing he was 12, say I'm 9 or 10. So we lived on a half a mile dirt road, one way in, one way out. No neighbors anywhere remotely close, several miles away. So for whatever reason, we didn't ride bikes a lot, but this one particular day we were riding down the gravel road. And I got if you rode bikes as a kid, you probably got your pants leg caught in the chain at some point. So I got my pants leg caught in the chain and it kind of wrapped up pretty good. And so we're trying to get it out, me and my brother Scott. So my dad comes driving down the road from home going out. You could hear the truck coming, you see the dust, and he stops. And I was telling you the truth. The passenger window, there was no passenger window, and the door was held shut or somewhat shut with an extension cord. So he pulls up, he looks out the window, and he says, "What are y'all doing?" So we're riding bikes. My pants leg got caught in the chain. Will you help me get it out? Oh, hell, I ain't got time for that. So he takes off. He gets about 50 to 100 yards down the road, and I do that. And all of a sudden, brake lights, you see the brake lights, and you see the truck stopping, gravel's flying, and he hits it in reverse and starts coming back. And my brother Scott says, "You better run." Well, keep in mind, I got my pants leg caught in the chain, and I'm not running anywhere, so I'm trying to hop into the woods. Needless to say, it was the last time I flipped anyone off for a long time. And this is the God's honest truth. I told my dad that I only did that because I saw people do it when they were mad at other people. He didn't buy it.
Like you didn't even know what it meant.
I didn't know what it meant. I just knew that people did it when they were pissed. So it was quite a bit longer before I ever did that again. But that was my dad. He was, again, if he would have, there was very little compassion. And if my dad would have said to me, "Son, I love you," I would have thought, "Dad, are you okay? You got fever?" But I knew he loved me in his weird sort of way.
When he died, famously, suddenly, you played one of the best games of your life the next day.
I would say it was the best game. Statistically speaking, I don't think anyone can argue, just first half alone. When I left the game after 20 years, and I don't say this braggingly, I had every passing record, good and bad, that you could possibly own. Now, since they've all been passed. But I say that only because only once in my career, I think once, maybe twice, did I throw for 400 yards ever. Now, guys do that all the time. Now, at one time, I had the yardage passing record, but it wasn't because I was throwing for 400 and 500 yards a game. At halftime of this game, I had 399 yards. Guys do it all the time now. But for me, in the way I played, that was nothing short of a miracle. And 4 touchdowns at the end of the first half. So I could have ended the game right there with better statistics than I'd had in any other full game in my career.
The day after your father died?
The day after.
How'd you do that?
Well, it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do. There was a lot of talk prior to the game on whether or not I would play, speculation. Meanwhile, at the hotel in Oakland, I knew I was going to play because that's what my dad would have wanted me to do. And the people who knew my dad and the way that he carried himself all understood. Like, you better play in that game. I mean, I could just hear him. Don't you sit out for this. The hard part to me was not playing in the game, but playing well enough to honor my father, in my mind. And that was exceptionally hard because it was hard to focus on the job at hand. It was the second to the last regular season game. We had to win the game to continue our playoff possibilities. We had to win that game and, quite frankly, win the next game and hope for a loss by another team to get in. So we needed to win. And I knew that my teammates were counting on me. But I kind of lost track of the game plan for obvious reasons. So there was a lot going on, and the least of which was scheming and game plan issues. So the pressure to perform that I had placed upon myself was like, and I played in 2 Super Bowls, played in Pro Bowls, played in a lot of big games. But the pressure to perform at the level that I ended up performing at was almost unreachable. But yet it happens.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson Tonight.